Dear students, welcome back. In the previous session, we have seen the other two intercostal muscles. One is the external intercostal muscle and internal intercostal muscles. The other intercostal muscle is called as transverse thoracic. The transverse thoracic is divided into three groups. One is the intercostalis intimus muscle and sternocostalis and subcostal muscles. Okay, so if you see the ribs, if you see the intercostal space, this intercostalis intimus muscle occupies middle 2/4 of the intercostal space. It occupies middle 2/4 of the intercostal space. Whereas the subcostalis is present on the posterior aspect, whereas sternocostal is present on the anterior aspect on the inner surface. All these muscles are placed on the inner surface of the thorax only. Okay, now we will see the intercostalis intimus muscle. We are having total 11 pairs of internal intercostalis muscle. It is deeper to the internal intercostal muscle, and this muscle is separated from the intercostal muscle, internal intercostal muscles, by the intercostal nerves and the vessels. And this muscle occupies middle 2/4 of the intercostal space. Middle 2/4 of the intercostal space. Now coming to the attachment, it stretches from the inner surface. It stretches from the inner surface of the upper border of the lower rib, upper border of the lower rib, to the inner surface. You can see the inner surface of the lower border of the upper rib, lower border of the upper rib, along the upper margin of the costal groove, along the upper margin of the costal groove. So here you can see this muscle is present on the inner side of the thorax, inner side of the internal intercostal space. So if you can see this muscles, external and internal intercostal muscles, these two are present within the intercostal space, isn't it? So here you can see on the inner surface, so this muscle is present most deeply here. From the lower rib, it is stretching from the inner surface of the upper border of the rib below, upper border of the rib below, to the lower border of the rib above, that to inner surface. So this lower border of the above rib along the upper margin of the costal groove, along the upper margin of the costal groove. So inner surface of the rib, we are having the costal groove, isn't it? In the costal groove, it is having upper margin and lower margin. To the upper margin, this intercostalis intimus is getting attached. Okay, so the fibers run same as the direction of the internal intercostal muscles. Okay, so this is about the intercostalis intimus muscle, and this is also supplied by the intercostal nerve. The action of this intercostalis intimus muscle is, along with external intercostal and internal intercostal, acts as a strong supporters for the ribs, preventing it from separation, preventing their separation. Okay, so that is the main function of this intercostalis intimus muscle. They act as elevators of the rib. This intercostalis intimus muscle acts as elevators of the ribs and help in respiration. Okay, So this is about intercostalis intimus muscle. Okay, now we are going to see the other two muscles, that is subcostal muscle and the sternocostalis muscle, in the next video. Thank you.